Hello, everyone. Today I noticed that several people were commenting on problems with intimacy, and really my heart goes out to you there. I understand. It can be really hard to feel love for someone, but not feel that love or that closeness in return. So if you're looking for that love, if you're wanting that connection, if you're wanting to stop feeling that pain, I have a couple questions just for you. So I want to start off first by, before we get into the questions, by giving just a little bit of feedback. Now, the whole reason that I decided to make this live stream is because people mentioned that they wanted us to speak on the damage of withholding intimacy. And let me tell you that discussing the damage being done is the wrong approach. How is this damaging is the wrong question to answer in this situation. Instead, the right approach, the actual question that you're looking to be answered is, how do I get back to the point where I genuinely feel close, feel loved, feel open, feel accepted? I mean, isn't that really what you're going for there? Isn't that really the direction that you want to go? So you want to feel that intimacy, that closeness, that acceptance, that ability to open up. And I just wanted to give that little pointer right there, that little bit of feedback, that when we focus in on what's going wrong and what's negative, we're not really working towards where we want to go. But so this all brings me to my first question, specifically aimed at you though. And the question is, what are you doing to build intimacy in your relationship? Many people come to talk to us and tell us about the many things that their spouse is doing that is harming the relationship. They're distant, they're jealous, they're cold, they might not want sex, they might want, completely lack any amount of intimacy. But I'll tell you that this puts you in a situation where you don't have any power over what's going on. And you're putting, when people are talking like this, they're putting the blame for this problem solely on someone else. I'm going to tell you that this is a problem. Now I realize that many of you have tried for a long time to solve issues, to increase intimacy, to increase connection, and I absolutely commend you for that effort, for sticking to that. Absolutely great. But if it isn't working, it simply means that you haven't tried the right thing. It doesn't mean that things can't change or that it's up to your partner to change things. It just means that the right approach hasn't been tried. I mean, I'll be honest, there's a lot of low quality, or dare I even say useless, information out there. Also, not everything works for all situations. And so if you're finding that you're stuck, even though you're looking out and looking at different sources, if you're feeling like you're still stuck, even after repeated attempts, it simply means that you haven't found the right approach yet. It does not mean that there is no right approach. Second question. So I'm going to ask you, so what is preventing you from getting the intimacy that you want? Or in other words, I want to ask also, has that barrier been addressed? So many times I hear people tell me specifically what is keeping them from having an absolutely wonderfully intimate relationship. They'll tell me, okay, I think it's communication problems. Or it could be some past pain, like an affair or some other deeply emotional wound. It might be a pattern of invalidation. It could be any number of things. There's all sorts of things that can lead to a lack of intimacy. If you haven't dealt with these barriers, it's not going to matter how much you absolutely want to have that intimacy. It's not going to matter how sexy you dress. It's not going to matter if it won't matter if you plan romantic evenings or moonlight strolls, the underlying pain is still going to be there. And it's always going to come back and cause those walls to just shoot right up again. It's going to cause that intimacy to die off. And so if we don't address these underlying pains, actually really solve them, if we're not hitting it, at the root of the problem, it's not going to matter, all these surface level efforts. And look, I get the frustration. I mean, you want so badly just to feel close to your spouse. You want to feel secure, safe in the relationship. You want to feel wanted and loved. And I get all that. And I want that for you. And it's completely in your reach. There's no relationship that's gone too far. It's none that are too distant or too damaged. And you can absolutely bridge that gap. You can repair the damage, and you can have that intimacy that you really, really are looking for. You can have all of that. So I want to end with a question, and I'd like you to post your answer or comments below. So I want to ask you, what would an intimate marriage mean to you? What would that look like? How would that feel? Essentially, if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? So let's get this discussion rolling. Would love to chat with you. Would love to address some of these questions or comments or anything. Let's get this going. Let's talk about how to build this intimacy up.